Okay, yes. Okay, so this will be the second part of topic four, and this is Isabella, just because mom went out for groceries. So, okay, never mind. Reducing our impact. So, how do we reduce our impact to our environment? So, first one is we can do in situ conservation. So, okay, so remember that maintenance of populations of wild organisms in their ecosystem. So, we're not touching them, we're just protecting the areas, okay, and then that's it. Okay, you stay there, we will not touch you guys, you will flourish on your own, or we maybe we'll do some maintenance, right? um, and then making sure that the organisms in that area will be protected. Next one, ex situ conservation, like the Calgary Zoo. We are trying to conserve components of the habit of biodiversity outside their natural habitat. Sure. So oftentimes we will try to um, breed them in captivity, like in zoos. Okay, promoting sustainable use of resources. So that will be another way of reducing our impact. So say for example, using underground water, right? If underground water will be replenished, let's say after hundreds of years, then if we're taking a lot of groundwater, then it will be replenished after 100 years. Then it's not a sustainable way of doing it. Or say, for example, um, just an example. If you say you're consuming, let's say, a loaf of bread every 3 days, and then mom will be buying uh, bread every 3 days also, so it will be sustainable because you will have the supply. So same is true for the environment. Okay, let's say for let's just an example for oil, crude oil. When we are extracting oil, let's say tons or hundreds and hundreds of barrels or thousands of barrels per day, and then it will take them thousands of years to create. It will take, let's say, thousands of years or hundreds of years for um, nature to create oil naturally, then it's not going to be sustainable because we're depleting the resources, okay, quickly compared to how compared to its production rate. Okay, next one. In situ conservation, there are some countries that will proclaim, let's say, certain areas as protected areas. Okay, tracts of lands that are set aside. You can, well, some countries you can't even go like hiking or trailing. You can't extract. You can't take away stuff, right? You can't do logging. You can't do mining, like those things. So tracts of land that are set aside, linking protected areas together, provide corridors for movement and exchange of genetic material. So you will see, like in some protected areas, even if there are, let's say, highways going on one side, you will see like a bridge for animals to cross. Restoration of species and ecosystems, so captive breeding programs, relocation of organisms like this fox here. If their environment won't support them, then they will be moved to another environment that they can be supported and hopefully will grow in numbers. In 1938, swift fox extirpated from Canada, meaning you can't see any swift fox in Canada, so they began captive breeding 1978, and Swift was released in 1983. Now in 1987, you have 192 foxes, and hopefully, okay, it will continue to grow. Numbers will continue to grow. Still listed as endangered in Canada, but if the numbers are growing, then it's a good sign. Ex situ conservation, like zoos, provide a refuge breeding programs, and the thing is, like you have scientists that will be studying them, working with those animals, and then looking for ways to breed them.
That a tiger?
Yes, and that's a panda. So maintain a living population, conduct and support research. So we will be knowing more things about those animals when they are in captivity. Obviously, there are animals that won't thrive in captivity, like dolphins. According to one study, their lifespan um, will become 4 years less compared to those that are in the wild. So for some animals, they can survive in captivity, but there are animals that will have a lesser lifespan if they are in captivity. Conservation of genetic resources helps us to restore as many gene variations as possible. So, and the thing that's the thing. Like we need to preserve more species in order for us to have um, greater genetic resources. And we also have seed banks. Okay, in order to preserve the genes. Preserving genes of animals is more difficult. Okay, gametes can only be stored for a short period of time. So the sex cells can be stored in short period of time. Unlike for plants, you have seeds, so it's okay, right? You can store them as long as they're dry. But for sex cells like gametes, you can only store them for a short period of time. So resource now, it is important for policies to be made in order to protect our resources, to protect the animals, right? So in this case, any species that is classified as endangered or threatened are protected by law from hunting, capture, being picked, or transplanted. So no cutting of trees or plants, no hunting, no trespassing. Like this one here. Okay, and that's it. So we are done with topic 4. Okay, we're done with topic 4. I will be posting a practice quiz. Let's do that first, so you guys will get familiarized with how how to do quiz on D2L. And